Hi, this is Mark from LongIslandWatch.com, and welcome to Watch and Learn, episode number 13. Today we're going to be tackling something that you've all heard of, and maybe you wondered what it is. We're going to be talking about perpetual calendars. A lot of watches are advertised, at least I see online, as having a perpetual calendar. And I look at them, and sometimes they are not perpetual calendars, the true meaning of what a perpetual calendar is. So I'm going to take a few minutes today, and first I'm going to talk to you about what a perpetual calendar is, and then I'm going to show you one example. And this video is kind of loaded because later in the week or next week I'm going to shoot another video on the watch I'm going to show you today. It comes in 3 different executions. It's a Seiko Perpetual. I wanted to get up close and personal with each one and show them to you, but it also happens to be the best talking point for perpetual calendars that I've come across in a long time. So I'm going to show it to you briefly just in the functionality of it, but then next week or in the next video that I do, I'll really get in depth into each model. The perpetual calendar is a device that we can use to get the day, the month, and the date for any year that we want. So a perpetual calendar. I want to know what day is December 30th, 2097. A perpetual calendar would be a device that could show me, what day of the week that's going to be, or what is the third Tuesday of 2019. A perpetual calendar would show me those things. When we get into watches, it's kind of the same thing, but in watches, a perpetual calendar is a watch that keeps track of the date correctly year on year, month on month, and including leap years. So some months have 31 days, some months have 30 days, and then we got February, which can be 28 or 29 days. So a perpetual calendar watch will keep track of that date for you. So when February 28th rolls around, the next date it shows would be March 1. Your most common perpetual calendars, and they're not even advertised as such usually, would be your inexpensive digital Casios, your Timexes, G-Shocks. All those watches are perpetual calendars, and digitally it's extremely easy. It's all programmed into a chip, and then the watch can portray whatever day and date is necessary, whatever is correct for the time. When you get into analog watches, it's a little trickier. Obviously quartz, with batteries, there's still a lot of microcircuitry involved, and they can do a lot to make the dates correct. But then you have things like windows flipping. You have to make the window flip twice if you want to skip a date. It gets very, complicated. And then mechanicals, full-up autos and mechanicals, perpetual calendars, they do not exist in this price point. The affordable price point, I don't even think they exist in the, medium price point. You're going to go up there. I've seen some serious Pateks and stuff that will account for, the leap years every 4 years, and they are super duper expensive. So I'm excluding those from the conversation. We're really just talking about your analog quartz watches. So before we get into the watch, I want to just talk about calendars in general. So why do we have leap years? Well, the Earth doesn't really take 365 days to rotate about the sun. It takes about 365 and a quarter days. And this is the way it was for a long time. They did the leap year every 4 years. But then they did discover that, believe it or not, the holidays were shifting. The vernal equinoxes were shifting. The start of spring, which then correlated into Easter Sunday, was moving. And that wasn't right. So they realized something was off. So it turns out the Earth does not take 365 and a quarter days to revolve about the sun. So to account for that, believe it or not, there are no leap years in the year 1700, 1800, 1900, 2100, 2200, and 2300. The year 1600, the year 2000, the year 2400 will be leap years, but the other hundreds in between them will not. And that makes our calendar accurate to about a day every 4,000 years or so. And that's the Gregorian calendar that we operate on. So the perpetual calendar I show you will not skip the leap year in the year 2100 or 2200 or 2300. That's way outside the realm of what we're discussing, but it's just something interesting to think about and know about. Easter Sunday, I think this is really cool. How it's decided is basically it's the first Sunday after the first full moon, after the vernal equinox, after the start of spring. So long ago they realized Easter Sunday was moving, and it was moving because the days were shifting. So they realized, you know what, something's up here. So that's why the calendar was modified again to add an extra day. So anyway, so a perpetual calendar, though, for our purposes of conversation, will be a watch that keeps track of the day, date, and month, and it counts for leap years every 4 years. It's not going to skip that leap year when it's necessary, because that's just crazy. Nothing's going to do that. So let's get over to the table, and I'll show you this Seiko, and you can check out what a perpetual calendar does. Okay, so let's check out this Seiko perpetual calendar watch. It does more than perpetual calendar. It's got an alarm and a chrono, and like I said before, I'm going to cover this watch in depth in the next video and the different color variations. But I'm going to spin the watch around and just talk for another minute about perpetual calendars. The reason why the watch can be programmed to know what day and date it is at any year is because it is actually quite simple. There are only 14 possible different yearly calendars. When you look at your calendar and you see where Mondays and Tuesdays lie, there's only 14 of those. And the reason is that your January 1st can fall on any of the 7 days of the week. It can be on a Monday, it could be a Tuesday, all the way through Sunday. And then it can also be a leap year, and the first day of the week can be on any one of those days. So it's 7 different calendars for a leap year, 7 different calendars for a non-leap year. And that gets you 14 separate calendars. So all the watch needs to be programmed for is those 14 calendars and the orders in which they will appear. And presto, you've got a perpetual calendar. Quite simple. Something I learned years ago reading the New York Times Almanac. If anybody does that for fun, I'm sure you don't, but that's when I picked it up and I was like, wow, that's so nifty. So here, again, this is the Seiko Spc 131. This is a very affordable watch. It's well under $200. I believe it's like 150s or something. Like I said, I will do the full in-depth look-see in a couple of days or next week. But for now, I want to show you the perpetual calendar. So if you look at the watch right now, this half moon indicator, which is on the other side of this blue hand, right here, this half moon, is on the 10. Today is January 10th. If I press the upper right button once, the half moon swings to encompass January. Do you see that? I press it again, and the half moon swings to this LY +1 marking. Now, what is that? That is leap year +1. So we are in 2017. Okay, sorry about that. It swung back to 10. So I'm going to do this again. I press the button. It goes to January. Press it again. It's going to go to LY +1. So 2016 was a leap year. So 2017 is 2016 +1. And then next year we'll go to +2. The year after that, +3. And then in 2020, it's going to go back to LY to signify a leap year. And then it knows that February will have 29 days. Now, at the top of the watch, you'll see a little day indicator, which is indicating today is Tuesday, which is correct. And obviously, days of the week are always sequential. So there's no correction to be made there. It just keeps indexing one day after the next. So this is a quite affordable perpetual calendar. And the way they do it in the analog, I think it's so cool. You'll only have to fix it. Unfortunately, when you replace the battery, you got to go through a little bit of a rigmarole to reset everything. So the calendar is in proper alignment. But every couple of years, that's fine. Maybe if it was a solar, that would be cool. That way, it would almost never require correction. Thus, no battery changes. But still, this is just really nice, and it's a good way to keep track of, the month, day, and year. And you never have to change this watch, from February to March, from March to April. It never needs adjustment. It won't need adjustment for, like I said, another, 83 years, when the year 2100 is not a leap year. Every 4 years a leap year comes, but 2100 has been designated a non-leap year to keep the calendar in sync with where the Earth is rotating around the sun. So this has been Mark from LongIslandWatch.com with Watch and Learn number 13, describing to you what a perpetual calendar watch is and showing you a little example of one. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to our channel if you have not done so yet. If you have any questions or comments, please put them down below, and I'll be sure to address them as soon as I can. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.